me. Now everyone is leaving, they've packed up their bags, bitter, worn out, and never look back. Monopolized meaning of what winning meant. Are we all tugging and tugging in self-interest? But I'll never forget what we're capable of. I'll burn my hair, and you'll still love me for it. We hold hands with our own impurities. Slates of scars, burns, and blood formed our divinity. We negated the war on life with alley debris. Our songs and drums resuscitated the dormant in me. But I'll never forget what we're capable of. I'll burn my hair, and you'll still love me for it. Now everyone is leaving, or they've packed up their bags, bitter, worn out, and never look back. Now everyone is leaving, or they've packed up their bags, bitter, worn out, and never look back. 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 Love me for it. Bitter, worn out, and never look back. Bitter, worn out, and never look back. Bitter, worn out, and never look back. It was dawn, you observed my breath making its way into the winter river. Radio chitter chatter, and the hail pitter patters, just like when they knocked down our wooden door. Red glowing eyes, our friends in disguise, bonfire alarms, darling, these are times of war. But I know I can't leave my little sibling behind, so put out the dark thoughts that cross my mind. A lonely bottle of soju snores by my head. You never know when it's time to make an offering to the dead. the time I didn't have to think, overcomplicate, breathe in their poison. The North Star whispers in the wind, lying down, cloud gazing, ticking and poking the hollow shells we had become. Sees the paint and the brushes, turn the streets into the world we always dreamed of. Can you feel beyond yourself? Do you remember what it's like to be Can you feel beyond yourself? I ask myself if you'd ever been. Now it's dusk, and we evaporate into the fumes of kitchen sorcery. The shapes disappear, but we're always still here, and we live on in those memories. I felt a tingling, humming in my chest, and it tugged at me as the crows wake me up in the morning. Was it those packs of cigarettes, or the promises you made that I inhaled and will never forget? Oh, I will never forget. I will never forget. You're the empty ladders living at the bottom of the holes in my winter coat pockets. You can't keep me warm, but you can't burn me no more, and I still fidget with the memories that I can't rid myself of. Can't rid myself of them, at least not yet. We fell so fast into our bleeding trust issues. Just say it, I just wanna hear you say it again, 'cause I don't think that I can. No, I don't think that I can. My mind's got a rock tied to the pedal in bright orange paracord, but my heart beating in your palms wanna reveal my truest form. We fell so fast into our bleeding trust issues. Just say it, I just wanna hear you say it again, 'cause I don't back up the steps to the field by the stone structure we only ever entered to stab the stained glass. Rainbows and the bloody foreheads of the saints named after us. We were the salt of the earth stuck underneath his fingernails, and I sang you stories of when I was just about your age, sitting cross-legged, my back as straight as our parents on, and one day facing an altar with the Buddha, the gods and the spirits. 2 and 3 syllable names of lost loved ones hanging down from the ceiling and writing calligraphy. Her brush, her sword, stabs into the heart of emptiness. The blood of the void is her lasso. Her brush, her sword, stabs into the heart of emptiness. The blood of the void is her lasso. She painted in the wall with none but twain descendants. They spread like wildfire, their lasso wars. She painted in the well with none but twain descendants. They spread like wildfire, their lasso a storm before the calm. You thought you were unique in your own suffering, neglecting the myriad of inner worlds, fearing your own power or responsibility. Like sculpted us onto their most jaw-dropping creation. Timeline hoppers, ancient magicians, and never-shifted ancestral traditions. They must create. None shall get in the way of the feel that is always felt, but never captured. Her brush, her sword, stabs into the heart of emptiness. The blood of the void is her life source. Her brush, her sword, stabs into the heart of emptiness. The blood of the void is her life source. You called shotgun as I listened to you both. Roll down the cracked windows and smoke out your broken hearts. Shaking your fists in the air at the park's board. And second-hand words of city despair were filling up the car. I watched the urban landscapes turn back into the land. I left the shredded bits of my heartbreak buried in the winter sand. And I realized how our boundaries to protect our softer spots. We went our separate ways, but we never left each other's thoughts. Now I'm looking back at everything we asked for as my legs cross this silver pass. My fingers lock themselves to the fence, looking out towards the empty tracks. I shut out your name because of this chronic pain that your kisses would attack. That chosen name, your one true name, let their echoes summon you back. Well, they still do nightly karaoke, and I belt out your go-to song to the vast ocean of voices cheering me the fuck on. You used to say that it's a different world inside that dive bar, that every space is a reflection of the ways we group the stars. Well, I'm still stuck here in this aching body, trying to figure out what these threaded moments and my fleeting songs are all about. Can't unlock my fingers or get my legs to uncross, and hope teases me every fucking time that I get lost, as I refuse to bust and choose to wobble through the alleys where I'm sinking. And under my deepest shallow breath, I repeatedly wish for us all to stop hurting. Brewing the Brewing the clumpiest wheatpaste in your kitchen with your snake and your cat and your cage full of rats. Fairy lights circled over our heads. That old basement suite. Then we skytrained to Sean's to print out those posters in black and white, and we ran into friends and avoided some people and the cops as we walked up and down the drive. punches and rolled gold. You looked like you needed a break and a lighter. Let's call up the others, please go home. We talked it out at potlucks in the park. You make a mean spaghetti. There were all those envies that I had kissed. I would still put my life on the line, but why was it always us? I guess we had bleeding hearts and felt like we had the least to lose. And the red paint on your cargo pants we couldn't wash off. You wore it so proudly, like your regalia. You're shining. You're shining. cloud upon which you float, as you lower and lower your venomous mouth to kiss the wind right back in through my poisonous snout. Life possesses me once again, and I wake up drenched and covered in your feathers. Upon the stronghold, a hidden paradise, like the sun I went early to bed, and I was early to rise. Then the deer came out to dance, and the owl taught me a trick, and there were older girls that I wanted to kiss on the lips. But I was nothing but a lonely bird. I wanted a huntress to take my heart. So little dragon, listen close before you go. You might need a friend, but you